Can we ask everyone to turn on your camera, please? So let us start with our prayer. Om Sehana Vavatu Sehano Bhunaktu Sehavidiyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect both teacher and student. May He nourish us together. May we work together with great energy. May our study be enlightening. May there be no hate among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. So before we begin today's subject, if there is anything that you like to ask or question, comment. We were talking about Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, and today we will conclude it by talking on Dharna, Dhyaana, and Samadhi, the last 3 principles out of 8. We completed Yama, Niyama, and Asana, Pranayama, and Pratyahara. So today we will talk about Dharna, Dhyana, and Samadhi, which are the culmination of the yogic lifestyle, yogic practice. And when I say culmination, it means that when you are in regularly practicing Dharna, Dhyana, the Samadhi, possibility of Samadhi is increased. So as far as individual is concerned, our effort is only in practicing Dharna and Dhyana. Samadhi may happen, may not happen, but that must not be out of our effort only. This Samadhi is something which we have to earn, we have to be blessed with. It is more of a grace than the individual's effort. Our effort is required only in practicing Dharana and Dhyana. So, by definition, Dharana is state of mind. It is the state of mind, which means when you are sitting with your eyes closed, if possible in solitude, maintaining the silence and stillness, you pick one subject or object to concentrate. So you could choose a word, a chanting, or image, or even the drawing back your attention to any subject, a subject of spiritual importance or object. And when you focus your mind on that subject or object, which is a state of mind, by focusing on one subject or one object. So it is the state of mind by focusing on one. In other words, you are trying to avoid the fluctuation of your thoughts, fluctuation of your focus, fluctuation of your attention. You are single-focused, single-mindedly watching an image or contemplating on a subject or object. And the same process, when you are able to extend it for a longer period of time, that is considered as Dhyaana. So the difference between Dharna and Dhyaana is the Dharna is a state of mind and Dhyaana is the process of mind. When I say process of mind, is nothing but you continue contemplating on one image or one subject or object for a longer period of time without being disturbed, without being deviation from external factors. External factor could be any of the sense object, your skin, your eyes, your hearing, your smell. All five sense of perceptions are in control. Does not bother you in maintaining the dharana for a longer period of time. And that becomes your dhyana. And when you are able to be in that position for extended period of time, you are then able to realize that your mind is focused on a single point. And you are totally aware of your dharana and you are holding on to it. So this is the state which is preparing you to be in that state of mind which is holding on to one image or one supposition for a longer period of time. Dharana and Dhyana are closely interlinked. But Samadhi is completely different. In Samadhi, you do not have any control, any obvious awareness of your state of mind. It is more that you lose yourself, you lose the awareness of what is around you, what is your state of your physical form, even your mental state is not noticed because you have transcended your frequency of the lower frequency and trying to touch upon the higher frequency. So it is a bridge between the lower self and higher self. And that is why the state of Samadhi is also called a state of Turiya, the fourth state, where for a point of time, you have transcended your consciousness. You are in the state where you are not aware of your, sorry, you are not aware of your physical form or mental form. And therefore, the experience of Samadhi is hard to describe. It cannot be described because you can only describe what you are aware of. I can describe everything and anything if I am aware of it. But when you lose the awareness of your mind and your physical form, you are unable to describe the experience of being, just being and not doing anything. So that's the state known as Turiya, fourth state, which is Samadhi. But Samadhi is not the ultimate. It sounds that you have reached the tip of mount, but it is not ultimate. Samadhi is limited for a period of time. It could last for a while, but it is not the ultimate. Ultimate is Kavalya. Kavalya is when you are engrossed in that state forever, which means you could be doing whatever that you're doing, but your mind, your consciousness is fully attached to the higher self, knowing the absolute reality. And that's the meditative state. So Patanjali only speaks in Yoga Sutra up to Samadhi, which is Turiya state. But he also describes separately what is known as a Kavalyapada, which means to be in the meditative state, where you are transcending the physical reality, physical realm. Although with your body and mind, you remain here and you do exactly what everyone does in this lifetime, but you emotionally and spiritually, you have transcended the frequency, and that's Kavalyapada. You are then, in real sense, living a life of a yogi. And the qualities of that you will be same as everyone else, but you will have differences which are so subtle, but yet prominent, such as you will operate based on love, you will have no attachment, you will be full of wisdom, which is gained out of your own experience, personal experience. So your outlook will change. The way you perceive things will be different than people around you. You will have the experience of oneness. And that's the difference. The difference between the yogi in real sense who have experienced the Samadhi and also progressively moving forward to achieve the Kavalyapada, and who have experienced that, the difference is only one. As I said, the entire life is based on the transaction based on love, brotherhood, compassion, no attachment, and wisdom out of personal experiences. So what we call meditation is actually the state of Dharna and Dhyaana. Meditation in English, we assume that it is a samadhi, but it is not. Because in meditation, you are fully aware of your body. You are fully aware of your thoughts that may come across. You are fully aware of your surrounding. So you are in this realm, but trying to focus and single-minded focus on one subject or object, which is nothing but Dharna and Dhyaana. Meditation does not happen to reduce your thought. So normally people practice meditation to reduce the number of thoughts. In real sense, when I say meditation, I only mean Dhyana, Dharana. It only happens when you are able to focus your mind on one thing, just one. Hold on to that. So that's why, if you remember, we always pick one supposition for Dharana, either visual, that you visualize all different asanas that you did today. So going back in time, 40 minutes or 50 minutes, going back in time, and you visualize yourself standing on a mat and all different asanas that you did progressively in detail. When you're watching it, your mind is so fully engaged in watching your own self, going back in time, which is your dharna. But when you contemplate on that continuously for longer period of time, that becomes your dhyana. Now, while doing that, you will not have other thought. The other thought only comes when you lose the attention, focus on what dharna is. It can also be practiced in a way that you pick up a dharna of sunrise, for example. If you have ever experienced the actual sunrise or actual sunset, the vision, the effect of that, if you're able to visualize it, bringing it back from your subconscious mind, bringing it back and visualize it, which becomes your dharna. And enjoying that state, enjoying that vision for a longer period of time becomes dhyana. And when you hold on to it for an extended period of time, there is a possibility that you achieve the point state of samadhi, but which is very rare. It needs, as I mentioned, it needs a greater amount of grace from the higher self. And that you can earn by practicing the dharana and dhyana. Of course, that's not it. That's the only last part of it. But in order to sit in dharana and dhyana for a longer period of time, you do need to do asana, you do need to have pranayama, you do need to adopt a lifestyle of higher wisdom. And when I say wisdom, I'm again referring it to gaining knowledge, clarification, which is clarity. Then comes the purity. There is a process of purification of your gross body and your mind, or your emotions and thinking. And after purification, implementing the knowledge that you have gained, arrive to the point which brings you experience and wisdom, and then you follow dharana and dhyana. So it's interlinked chain. And if you are doing it for a point of time, a longer period of time, you have earned those merits which can bring you grace. And the grace is only enables you to be in a state which is a transcendental stage, which is samadhi, experience of turiya, this experience of fourth state. So next time when you are able to sit by yourself alone, closing your eyes and focusing your mind onto one subject, vision or object, sit for a longer period of time without disturbance, in stillness, and then experience what happens to you. When you open your eyes, when you complete your dharana and dhyana, contemplate on what was your experience during that, even if it is 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Reflect upon it. Were you able to sit without any movement, number one? That means starting point is your physical form. Are you or were you in position to maintain your sitting posture without any movement? Did you achieve that ability to sit motionless? Number one. Number two, during that point of time, whether it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes, have you experienced disturbance of your mind, disturbance of thoughts, deviation from your dharna. Dharna could be anything. It could be a nice place on the beach or nice experiences in the life. Anything that brought you higher joys or amount of fulfillment. Anything that gave you, even if it is a short point of time, short period, you felt that you are fulfilled. You have felt everything is enough, good. Go back to that situation, to that, and focus there as a dharna. What was the relationship? What was the circumstances? What was the conditions that gave you that feeling? Stay there. Stay in that experience. That became your dharna. And when you contemplate on it, longer time is dhyana. So dharna, it's supposed to be more on higher values, that you don't pick up a dharna of watching, let's say, a movie, for instance, which is entertainment. Try to pick up a dharna which is of substance. And when I say substance in point of view of spirituality. If you have come across any book that you read which has given you some new insight, contemplate on that. And then be in that contemplation for a longer period of time. When you complete that, go back with awareness to see if you had any other deviation of thoughts. Did you experience? And if yes, were you aware? What thought did you get during that period? Was a thought about your work, your relation, your family, your friends, your job? What was it that disturbed you during that time? Just try to be aware. That practice slowly brings you a point where the mind is then able to focus only on one. And when it is possible, that is what is called, in real sense, meditation, which is touching upon the state of samadhi, where you are still aware of your body and mind, but you are focused completely on one. There is no deviation of thoughts, deviation of your mind. It's focused on one, which is the beginning of samadhi. So these are the three internal. Dharna, dhyana, and samadhi is something which is internal. Previously, what we spoke about asana, pranayama, and pratyahara are external. That is, and yama and niyama are do's and don'ts. That's just to prepare yourself. Now you try to contemplate. Yama, niyama prepares you to practice asana, pranayama, and pratyahara. And when you put all those five together, qualifies you to pick up dharna of higher value, contemplate it for longer period of time, extended period of time, becomes dhyana. And samadhi is something that you may earn. That should not be your goal. That should happen.
Yes.
If you have any doubt, please ask.
Acharya ji, when we perform this Sri Sri Ravi Shankar's this Kriya, then what happens that after Shoham many times, then we lose basically rapid breathing, and we lose control over the body. what is that state? How will you describe? Because even when we perform this, any meditation or for longer period, say Kapalbhati. So we have for a particular time, we can't have control over the body. So what is that state?
You see, these are the different methods. It's only the preparation. Remember, anything that we do, whatever name, whichever way it is, Kriya Yoga, Tantric Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga, all different branches of yoga only prepares you physically, externally, and internally. After that, for example, Yoga Asana and Pranayama prepares you. After that, the most important part is the last three, Dharna, Dhyaana, and Samadhi. Now, what you just said of art of living of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is also one of the way to prepare by doing different breathing exercises, whether it is, there are so many of them. Remember, I told you when we spoke about pranayama, originally there were only three. Nadi Shodhan, the passage opening, Anulom Vilom, that you continually have the balance of your windpipe, both nostrils, and Kapalbhati, which gives you the, you will be surprised, the Kapalbhati is originally practiced by those yogis in the colder region to bring the warmth. If you do Kapalbhati for more than 10 minutes in one shot without break, the body will have so much of energy and heat that you can sit in cold region without any cold effect. That's why many yogis are able to maintain themselves without wearing any heavy woolen clothes or anything, even in the cold region, because they generate heat from within. Yeah, and how do they generate? By doing this pranayama. It generates heat. So these are different methods by which your body and your internal, so your physical form and your mental state is aligned to practice dharna and dhyana. Now, every single yoga school, whether it's Kriya Yoga or Hatha Yoga or anybody, the goal is to be in the state of meditation, to be in state of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, which is a longer period of touching upon the state of fourth, state of turiya. After that, you have no control. You are not the doer. You cannot claim that you had that experience, because moment you say your experience, which means you were aware of it. And when you are aware, you are not transcendenting. In state of transcendence, you do not have any memory. But that is the state which we have never experienced so far. Right now, we can only talk about dharana and dhyana. And as I said last time, check by yourself, are you able to sit for 10 minutes in total silence and stillness? Forget about your mental thoughts and mental deviation. Physically, are you fit enough to maintain your posture for 10 minutes? That's the first step. Second step is, during that 10 minutes, are you aware of what thoughts you received? Whatever thought that comes and goes, have you noticed them? Are you acutely aware of it? After practicing that, then you will come to a point where the mind is then attuned to just remain on one point, one focus, whichever it is. If you believe in, let's say, if you consider art of living or Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, imagine the form, yeah, the shape and form and name and body, focus there, stay on that, and try to contemplate on single minute detail of that image. So the purpose of doing that is to avoid other thoughts, that you are not disturbed by other thoughts. You are able to stay on one thought. And when you continuously stay on one thought, your mind is then in state of dhyana, because you are aware of your thought and you are holding on to it for a longer period of time. Eventually, that will also get dropped. If you remember, we spoke about mindlessness or mindfulness. From mindfulness, you have to travel to mindlessness. Mindlessness is the state of turiya.
Acharya ji, Seema had a question.
Acharya ji, do we have reach at Turiya stage when we perform longer period of Kapalbhati?
Yes, you can. You do. Different pranayama can, if you Kapalbhati, if you're able to do it for a longer period of time and do it right with focused mind, it also results into the same state. I can't promise turiya, because when you say turiya, you do not have experience of it. You do not know what is happening, because you have transcendented that point of awareness. But whether it is Kapalbhati, or whether you do Bhastrika, or you do Brahmari, if you are so very well intensely engrossed in what you do and contemplate on experience of that pranayama, for example, Brahmari or Bhastrika or Kapalbhati, any of these, you are then able to experience that one-mindedness. Only that experience. I cannot promise turiya, because when you say turiya, it is hard to describe, because you do not know that state. You are not the doer. You do not do it. It happens. And whatever that happens, it is hard to explain, because it's something which is received as a grace. It is revealed to you. It is not that you are doing it. Whatever that we do is until Dharna Dhyana. Maybe a bridge between Dhyana and Samadhi. There is a gap. When we chant Om, when you complete one chant of Om, before you chant the second Om, there is a little gap. That gap is turiya. If you are so engrossed, single-mindedly chanting Om, bringing your focus on the pineal gland or third eye, feeling the movement of energy by chanting Om, the gap between Om is the state of turiya. Similarly, when we do different pranayama, and I recommend that you take 3 inhalation and exhalation, keeping your eyes closed, try to watch your breath, is to internalize your awareness, to going within ourselves to see what is happening, feel the energy, feel the vibration. That is the starting point of experiencing turiya, or experiencing the bridge between turiya and dhyana. There's a little bridge. That's the only way I can explain. There's a little gap or bridge between dhyana, single-mindedness, and samadhi. Because moment you cross that bridge, moment you go other side of the gap into samadhi, you have no control of yourself, because you do not know what's happening. You are in mindlessness. So your effort is only to go up to dhyana and maybe walk on that little bridge, the gap, experience that gap, which is turiya.
Thank you, Acharya.
Yes, please.
Seema?
Yeah. I wanted to ask the same question, that whenever I try to sit in meditation, I can't say that what comes, but there are a lot of things which comes in my mind, and due to that I am not able to sit even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But as you said, that try to sit in a posture for 10 minutes and try to concentrate on the thoughts. Maybe next time, today, after yoga, I try to sit, and today I'll try to sit the way you said, that first try to adopt the body and then the mind.
Realize, be aware, you are not the only one. Most people have the same condition as you. When you try to sit in silence and stillness, if you are honest enough, you will confess that there are many thoughts that come and go. That is normal. That's how we are designed. That's how we are built in. There's nothing abnormal. It's perfectly fine. That's the journey you have to undertake. For that, it goes back into preparation. You have to change slowly but surely your lifestyle, your attitude. And it is a package. It's not just the performing 1 hour of yoga that brings you to that point. It is everything, the way you sleep, the way you eat, the way you treat people, your pattern of your thinking, the entire lifestyle. That has to be modified. And should be your guideline is your spiritual knowledge. Whatever is your belief system, whatever is your faith, whatever you trust certain holy book, you trust certain holy man, you trust some higher values, just follow that. All are okay. Just follow it. Follow it rigorously, intensely, single-mindedly, with complete faith. And then adopt slowly but surely, change your lifestyle. That's the starting point. Then comes all this practice of yoga, pranayama, meditation. If you suddenly in your busy lifestyle with all sorts of, let's say, attachments, worldly commitment, you try to find 10 minutes to close your eyes and still sit, it may not happen, which is okay. That's okay. That is the situation with most people. But that should not put you off. If you are committed to practice meditation, slowly but surely you have to start from the beginning, which is what's your way of your lifestyle. As I last time said, very simple thing is to watch your own self. When you wake up in the morning, what is your state of mind? Do you wake up with the long face? Do you wake up with the feeling of anger, tired, greed, busy, so many stress? What is your state of mind? Try to modify that. Try to see, are you able to wake up in the morning and smile without any purpose, without any cause? Are you feeling good with your own self? And that can only happen when you realize that I'm so fortunate that I have a new day. I woke up, I am able to open my eyes and I'm still breathing. That's the first gratitude. That's the first thing you thank for, that I'm still okay, I'm still around here. That should be enough reason to smile. So likewise, your entire approach to life has to change slowly but surely. Then it is easier to be able to sit quietly. And that also happens when you have adopted a lifestyle of acceptance. Most of us have expectations. When expectations are more than acceptance, you will always have the mind which is agitating, mind which is busy with different thoughts. Why? Because you had certain expectations and mind is looking for it. So likewise, these are the preparation as I was talking. After doing this groundwork, only then you are qualified to spend 10-20 minutes, be in silence, maintain stillness, and practice. Pranayama also prepares different pranayama. By doing rapid breathing, the energy is generated. Close your eyes and stop and go within yourself and watch that energy. And that is a good method. By focusing on that, your other thoughts will not bother you.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Yes, Acharya ji, I was talking of that only, rapid breathing. And in that state, I do not have any thought and other things because I only concentrate on the body even after this Kapalbhati. So is it the state that prepares us for higher, what is like Dhyana or Samadhi or Turiya, what you say that?
Yeah, so rapid breathing also enables to go within yourself and feel that movement of energy or vibration. And by watching that, you're single-minded, you're only focused there, your other thoughts do not. This also can be practiced by laughter, which is known as the laughter yoga, where you burst in laughter and you go on laughing for at least 5, 7, 10 minutes loudly, and then stop suddenly, stop straight. Not that you start reducing your laughter, but stop suddenly. It's like dropping from the cliff of a mountain. Stop suddenly and go within yourself and see what happens. I cannot do that laughter yoga online because it's hard to explain and watch. As and when we meet together, we will do that laughter yoga. You laugh for nothing and you jump like a child and you throw your arms around and laughter without any purpose. And then stop suddenly. When you stop suddenly, you go inside and you realize what's happening, the vibration, the energy. That time you will have no experience of other thought.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
So how I feel about this is like it's a airplane which is fueled enough with oxygen, and it's helping you lose touch with the reality, which is the ground. So once you're in the air, probably that's the Turiya state. But that also doesn't happen. We just jump sometimes and come back to the reality with various thoughts. But then, yes, we do a lot of pranayam before meditation just because we want to fuel our mind and lose touch with the reality, probably.
Yeah.
Reality or
Unfortunately,
perceived reality, I would say. Reality is the universe where we have to reach, probably.
unfortunately, the reality, what you call, is unreal.
Perceived reality, yes, unreal. It is.
That reality, unreal. And what we cannot see, what we cannot perceive is reality.
And we are trying to reach there, or probably
Yeah.
intend to.
Okay, so quickly we talk now briefly about what Banshri had asked and what you asked this morning. Both are linked to each other, both are in the same context. The intuition and the intelligence, or intellectual and intelligence. So as I last time said, I want all of you to tell me what is your thought on that. You asked me a question, you must have thought about it. So what is, according to you, what is the difference?
So, our mind processes a lot of information all the time. There's a lot of manipulation that happens, because of which probably certain things are lying in the subconscious and they come out. Like suddenly, if I think of somebody out of nowhere, and next day or after a few hours or after a few minutes, that person calls me or messages me. It tells me that there is something which is beyond my manipulation.
Yeah.
But maybe probably it's my some need inside that had probably manipulated me or what.
This is two aspects in it. One, which is more of a kind of you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually connected to a, let's say, a situation or relation or a person. Like for instance, you are thinking of some person, and at that point of time or soon after that, that person suddenly connects you, which is nothing but you established your connection, as we say, telepathically. So you thought of that person, you sent out that energy to that person. Yeah, energy travels at much higher speed than a light. So and that person reciprocates, which we call telepathy. So that is one aspect of it. Yeah. Intuition is different. Intuition is, in my opinion, is a message conveyed by your angel to you. So all of us have been given at least one angel to guide us, to let's say, watch on us. Yeah, they don't disturb you, they don't interfere you. Whatever you do, they let you do, but they're watching. There is an angel. That angel trying to convey certain things, and that happens in form of intuition or gut feeling or your own imagination. Yeah. So what we call imagination or gut feeling or intuition it's actually a language, a message that is conveyed by your angel to you. Now, for instance, you driving a car, you stop by some place to do some shopping or drink coffee or whatever. You forgot the key there, car key. You came to your car and suddenly you realize you don't have a key. Now you do not really recollect where did you lose it. But then you get suddenly an idea, a flash, that it could be there. When you go there, it will be there. Now, that flash, that is intuition, that gut feeling that suddenly you got, which is nothing but your angel is telling you, conveying you that you forgot at that place. Yeah. So the intuition and gut feeling is instant. You cannot plan. You cannot prepare. You cannot say, I will prepare myself to get the more and more intuitions, depending on situation. Telepathy is something that you can acquire. That ability to connect through the energy, yeah, through the higher end, is something that you acquire. And that's like a Reiki, for example, Reiki treatment, where you make yourself a channel, you make yourself a medium, and let that higher power flows through you and heal. It's the same as telepathy. Let that energy convey your emotions, your thought to the other person. The distance has no meaning there. It could be at any distance. So, whereas intelligence is completely different. Intelligence is a basic knowledge or basic wisdom that we inherit at the time of birth. All of us are born with intelligence. Intellectual properties is something that we acquire as we grow by way of education, by way of exposures, by way of different, let's say, interactions with people. You acquire that higher knowledge of intellect. Spiritually speaking, intellectual properties or intellect person is the person who discriminates, who is able to discriminate by thinking. Intelligence is something we is natural, spontaneous. So intelligence, for example, we all have intelligence to learn new things and understand it. Intellectual is something we acquire, which means you think about it. By thinking about it, you learn and understand. So what can help is to stay more as intelligence based on our own inborn intelligence. Stay there, which is nothing but your own ability to perceive. Intellectual is something based upon the knowledge that you have acquired. It may not be your own experience. Is that clear to you?
That means what you are actually acquired through daily life, through our social life, through our interaction with
I was saying that intellectual person is the person who has acquired further knowledge. They have sharpened their knowledge. They have, and this happens by different amount of studies or education or interactions. Whereas intelligence is something that we are born with. We all have certain intelligence. So survival matter is based on intelligence. Whereas progressing or acquiring more is based on intellectual. So what we really need is higher amount of intelligence and intellectual. Maybe if you pick up an example of a person who is doing a skilled job, yeah, let's say a carpenter or electrician. Now he may not have gone to school to learn the electric fittings or electrical work, but he has ability to do it, which is his intelligence. Whereas people who do not have that ability, but acquire that ability by studying it, yeah, so he is more intellectual. Yeah, he has picked up by applying his focus or mind on it and learning it. So intelligence is able to learn and understand easily. Intellectual is think about it to learn and understand. Yeah. So when you have component of thinking, it only comes when you are doing certain things. And here the doing is your studies or education or interactions or exposures.
I had a mind that intellectual means the inner discipline. I had this in my mind. Intellectual means the inner discipline which we carry from our birth only. As we grow up, we just much more we exercise it, and then we just make it much more refined. That yes. I had in my mind. That was
yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's right. So no one has any more comments or questions, then we can conclude by praying, chanting Om. Om. Asato ma satamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya loka samasta sukhino bhavantu loka samasta sukhino bhavantu samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we deserve. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Acharya ji,
Thank you, Acharya ji.
being there.
Thank
and
you.
guiding.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Acharya
like to
ji.
see. Thank you. Most of you remain invisible to me, so I hope you are smiling and have a nice day.
Acharya ji, I don't know, today I had a slightly bad connection, so I